Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video we will build a classic game, rock paper scissors. So by building this game we will be able to enhance our programming skills and also revisit the Python basics. So I'm sure this will help you to enhance your programming skills. So before start to build everything from scratch, let's jump on to the end result and I will show you how this game will work, and then we will uh, come back and write everything from scratch. So let me show you the actual game. So I'm going to run the Python script. So just like an usual game, rock paper scissors, it will ask your choice whether it's a rock paper or a scissor. So here the game asks what's your choice. So I'm going to enter rock, and in this game we are going to play against the computer. So the computer will also select one choice. uh, so in this case, in round one I chose rock and the computer chose a scissor. So rock beat scissor and hence I win this round. And also it is updating the scoreboard. If you look at the scoreboard, player score is 1 and computer score is 0. And we have built this game in a way to run 3 round. So with this 3 round, we will decide who is the winner by checking whose score is maximum. And so in the next round, I'm going to give a try with paper. So I chose paper and computer chose rock. So paper beats rock, and again I win this round. So it is updating the scoreboard. My score is 2. So the round 3, in this round I will select scissor and I enter. Okay, yeah, I chose scissor and computer chooses paper. Okay, computer lost. So I won this round and I win this game with the 3 points. So it's a cool game, right? So we are going to build this game from scratch. And yeah, let's jump and we will build this game. Rock paper scissors.py in my desktop. So I will open it with my favorite editor, Visual Studio Code, and then we will build this game. So yeah, I have opened the file. It's an empty file. So before start to write the code, let's divide that requirement into a smaller pieces. Into a smaller task. So we know that we are going to build a rock paper scissors game and its functionality and everything. So if we divide that requirement into smaller pieces, then it will be easier for us to develop and we can build it fastly. So let me divide this entire requirement into smaller pieces. So the first thing we have to do is like we have to get user uh, input and validate whether it is correct or right one or not. And then we have to make our computer select one choice, like a player 2, and then we have to validate whose choice beats whose. So and then we have to update our scorecard, update scoreboard, and we have to do this 4 step again, like a round. So previously you have seen we had a 3 rounds. So we need to do this task each time based on the number of rounds that we are declaring. So rounds also we have to consider, and finally declaring the winner. So these are the 6 tasks that we are going to work on. So if we practice this approach, it will be easier for us to work on any project. So this is how an actual software development is. We will divide the requirement into a smaller task and we will build it iteratively. So let's start. Story support. Let's start. So the first task that we are going to work is get user input and validate whether it is right or not. So let me create one variable. user choice, and it is a input with the input message rock paper or scissors. Key and the dot lower. So we got user choice. Let's print it. F string. You choose user choice. So we got our user choice and we are printing it to the terminal, and we have to validate it, right, whether it is a right or not, because the user can enter anything other than rock paper or scissors. They can enter anything they want, like they can add water or ink or anything. So we have to validate whether the user choice is in rock paper scissors or not. We have to inform the user that you have selected an invalid choice. Please enter something like rock paper scissors. So we are going to write a logic for it. While user choice not in, okay, I have to declare one variable, that is the options, which is rock paper and scissors. So if the user choice not in options, then I have to inform the user and I have to get a new choice from the user. So the user choice equal to input with an input message. Whatever you have entered as an invalid choice, it must be rock, paper, or scissors. Now we have completed our first task, which is the getting user input and validated whether it is the right or not. So let's check this whether it is working fine or not. Let me execute it in my command prompt. I have to move it to my desktop because I have that file in my desktop. And now let me execute that file. So it is asking rock, paper, or scissor, my choice. So if I enter rock, it is printing you chose rock. So that is correct. It is working as expected. But at the same time, we have to validate and one more thing. Like if I am entering, if the user is entering something other than rock, paper, scissor, it has to return an invalid that message. So let me give water. So yeah, it's asked. It is telling me that it's an invalid choice. Must be rock, paper, or a scissor. So let me give something invalid this time as well. If I'm giving ink, again it's an invalid choice, must be rock, paper, or a scissor. So let me enter paper. So this time it is accepting because I have entered a paper as an input and it is the expected choice. So that's why it is returning you choose paper, and the program is ended. So till this stage it is working as expected. Now we can move on to the next step, which is the make computer select a choice. So we know that the choice is something in options, like either it has to be a rock paper scissor, it has to be a rock paper scissor. So we need to make the computer select an option. So what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to use one module, which is the random module. So let me import the random module, and now I have to write code computer choice equal to random dot choices choice sorry and options. So it will select something random in this options list. It will either select rock or paper or scissor, which is completely random. Now what we are going to do is like we are going to print string and the computer chose computer choice. Okay. So we have completed two tasks. The first one is to get user input and validate whether it is right or not, and then the second thing is make computer select a choice. So we have completed these two tasks. Let's run it and review whether it is working as expected or not. Let me clear this window and processor. Let me choose rock. Okay, I choose rock. The computer choose paper. Okay, where we have the two choices now. Player one, which is the user has one option. At the same time, computer has one option. So we have two choices now. Now we have to validate whose choice beat whose choice. So now for that we have to write the logic. So we know that if user is selecting rock, it can beat scissor, but it will lose to paper. At the same time, for scissor, scissor can beat paper, but it loses to rock. And for paper, it beats rock, but loses to scissor. So we know this logic, right? So what we are going to do is like we are going to write a dictionary with this beats and loses to key value, and then we are going to use that dictionary for our condition operation. So let's write this moves dictionary. So the first option is rock. Rock is the key, and so rock can be scissor. So we know that rock can be scissors, and but it loses to paper. And so this is our move for a rock, and now for a paper, it can beats rock, but it will lose us to, sorry, it has to be same, it will lose us to scissors. And similarly for scissors, we have to write beats to and loses to logic key value pair. Scissor can beat paper, but it will loses to rock. So we have write this moves dictionary. So it will give the you know the logic, like which choice beats which choice and which choice loses to which choice. So now we have this dictionary. Now what we are going to do is like we are going to write a conditional statement, and with that we can decide whether that user choices is beating computer choices or it is getting tie, or whether that user choice losses to computer choice. So the first thing that we are going to check in conditional statement is whether our user choice is a tie between computer choice. So if it is a tie, we are going to print a message that both you and the computer chose user choice. So it's a tie, right? So we are going to say inform it's a tie. And if not, we have if not it's if it is not a tie, then someone has to win. Either it's a user or a computer. So let's write a logic for it. If moves of user choice beats computer choice, then user wins, right? So we have to print a message that user choice beats computer choice. So here the u means your the user win here. And if not, what I'm going to do is like I'm a pretty lazy, so I'm going to copy the statement and make some changes accordingly. So if the user choice loses to computer choice, then user choice loses to computer choice. Hence the computer will not the user. Okay. So we have done with the third task, which is the validating whose choice beat whose. So for that, what we have done is like we have written a moves dictionary, and which has the logic for which choice beats which and which choice loses to which. And then what we did is like we have written a conditional statement. Whether that user choice is same as the computer choice, then it's a tie. In case if the user choice beats computer choice, then the user wins, and if not, if the user choice loses to computer choice, then computer wins. So how we have completed till the third task. Let's run it and review whether it is working correctly or not. So let me clear my prompt and let's run the script. So let me select paper. Okay, I choose paper and computer choose rock. So paper beats rock, you win. So paper beats rock. So my choice is a paper, but computer choice is a rock. So paper beats rock. So my choice wins. That is I win. So it's working perfectly, right? Let's check opposite. Rock paper scissors rock py. So let me select rock this time, and yeah. So rock is my choice, and computer choose paper. Rock loses to paper. Let's review it. Rock loses to paper. So my choice is rock, but computer choice is paper. So the computer wins. So it's working perfectly, right? It's a tie condition. We can check it, but it's a random choice. We never know that when it is going to happen. So I'm not going to waste the time, your precious time. So let's move ahead and work on the fourth task, updating the scoreboard. So for scoreboard, uh, we have to keep track of what is happening here. Like, so let's write a logic for a scoreboard. So I will we need two variables. One is the computer score, the other one is the player score. So let's declare variable at the top, like computers, sorry, no choice, computer score, and we have a player score. So those are equal to 0, 0. So if if the player wins, we have to update the player score, right? So let's update the player score to 1. And in case if player loses to computer, then we have to update the computer score. That's a +1. And then finally, we have to inform the scoreboard. Print scoreboard. with player score and also the computer score. Okay, let's test this whether it is updating the scoreboard correctly or not. So I'm back to the command prompt. Let me clear this and zoom a little bit. And so let me select paper. Oh, it's a tie. Okay, now we have checked the tie logic as well. So it's a tie. That's why the scoreboard is not updated. Player score is 0 and computer score is also 0. Let's try this again. And let me select rock. So I chose rock, the computer chose paper, the rock loses to paper, the computer wins. So the computer score is updated to 1. So yeah, it's working correctly. Okay, let's run this again and test for one more scenario. Paper, oh, it's a tie again. And let me select scissors this time. Scissors, computer chose rock, scissor loses to rock, the computer wins. Okay, if the computer is getting, you know, I'm not getting any scores at all. What is happening? Okay, this time I choose paper and maybe rock this time. Come on. Okay, the computer is playing very hard. Rock. Oh, finally I won. The player score is 1. I chose rock, the computer chose scissor, rock beats scissor, and I win. So the player score is 1. So till the stage it is working as expected, right? We are not seeing any issues, and we also see tie scenario, player win scenario, computer win scenario, and the scoreboard is also getting updated. So yeah, we did it. We almost did it. We completed till 80% of the game. Now the final thing is like we have to do this task in a rounds, because right now if you look at the game, it is executing only one round. With one round we can't decide who is the best performer or who is the winner. So we have to iterate this logic till some stages, right? So I will assume that the 3 rounds is enough. But if you want to go for multiple rounds, that's your choice completely. So you can play around by selecting a different rounds. But I will choose 3 rounds. So let's update the functions. Let's use the functions to do this round again and again. So what I'm going to do is like whatever the logic that I have written in from line 13, I think line 13 to, yeah, no, from user choice, yeah, sorry. So whatever the logic that I have written from user choice to till this line, I have to move everything into inside a function. So let's define a function def game. And now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to move everything inside this uh, the game function. Okay, now there are some things that you need to check. The computer score and player score, it's a variable, but you know it will be not be updated correctly when you are going for a rounds. So what you have to do is like you have to define it as a global variable. So then only it will keep track of everything globally, not as a function local variable. So for that, what we are going to do is like we are copying this and we are going to define it as global. because otherwise it will think this player score and computer score is a local variable. We will not be getting the correct score details for rounds. And let me define round variable as round 3 rounds. Sorry, the 3. And now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to simply iterate for round in rounds. I'm going to print one statement here. Let's give some name round 1, and I'm going to execute that game function. So let's check whether it is executing this game twice. With that we can confirm it is working as expected. Let's clear this window and let me execute that rock paper scissors game. Okay, something is failing. Round in rounds. Int object is not iterable. Okay, I have I have made a mistake here because I have to give range because the for loop is will execute in ranges, right? So let me save this and run the function. Yeah, so now we have a round one. Let me select paper. So rock, paper, scissors, you choose paper and computer choose rock. So paper beats rock and I win. Player score is updated to 1. Now let me choose rock. So yeah, you have seen this, right? You have noticed, right? Now I have selected draw, but computer choose paper, so I loses to computer. Hence the computer score is update, but also the player score is there because in round one the player won the game, right? So it's not cleared. It is also saved. So now for the third round, let me select scissors this time, and it's a tie. So we have a player score 1 and computer score 1. So that's why we have changed that two variables to global, because hence it will update the scores correctly. Otherwise it will think those two variables as a function local variables and it will not keep track of the scores. So that is the reason. Now it is everything is working expected. We have completed till the fifth task rounds. Now we have to announce the winner, who is the winner based on the scores. So for that we are going to write some logic, and that logic is like so we have global variables. So what we are going to do is like we are going to simply check if the computer score is greater than player score, then the computer wins, right? So we are going to print a message, the computer wins, with also we are going to show the score, computer score. So say like points, and in LF we are going to check the reverse, which is the player score greater than computer score. Then we are going to print a message that the player won. You win with player score points. And finally, it can be a tie, right? So for that also we have to print some message. It's a tie. You both win. You both win. But we also have to show the message. You both win with its detail as well. So that's it. We have completed our game. Let's run it for one last time, and we'll see. Let me clear the screen and let me run the game. So round one, I'm selecting rock. So I chose rock, computer chose paper, rock loses to paper, so computer score is updated to 1. So now we are heading into a round 2. Let me select paper this time. I choose paper, computer choose rock. So paper beats rock, hence I win. So player score is updated to 1. Now round 3, I will select scissors. I chose scissor, computer chose paper, scissor beats paper, hence I win. The player score is 2, computer score is 1, hence I win with 2 points. So, yay! I have won this game and I have completed the game as well. So, we can make some changes like we can add some lines just to make it a little bit nicer. So let me add some print statements here just to add few more lines or here as well. And think it's enough, I guess. Okay, here also have that. I can use new lines, but this will give a good picture. I think this is enough. Let's run it and see. Rock paper scissors survive. Okay, little bit of beautification. Now we are seeing one line before round one, so which looks nice. Rock, you choose rock, computer choose paper. Okay, all the functionality is good, but you can see the difference, right? There is a line which makes the little bit beautification, I would say. Paper, scissor. Now I can play anytime with this game. So I hope you are enjoyed and you love this game. And if it is really helpful, please hit the subscribe button and like button. And let's I will come up with a new video with a new Python project. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.